While it's been reported again and again that Microsoft is expanding their Xbox first-party studios to a size they've never had before, leaks just keep on coming out about just how big they are actually trying to get. I could keep talking about how Microsoft wants to solidify their first-party studios for Game Pass because they want to be the Netflix of gaming, but we already know that the evidence is abundantly clear that's what Microsoft is trying to accomplish. I'm here to talk about the leak that was reported a couple of days ago that showed off the supposed Xbox 2 and PS5 specs. That leak also had the names of multiple studios Microsoft might be in discussion to acquire. I'm going to go into each one to give a rundown of which ones I would like to have and who fits perfect within Microsoft Studios. But remember people, this is just a rumored leak, so nothing is concrete. This is just for fun and also something that we can analyze and see if it's plausible for Microsoft to add all these studios to Xbox. So let's just have some fun and talk about these studios, because like we've all talked about, games, software, hardware, it's all gaming and we all enjoy it. So the first to come up was a SoBo Studio. Now you might be wondering, who are they and what have they done? And trust me, I was in the same boat. So I did some research and found out they worked on multiple games which include Quantum Break, The Crew 2, Zoo Tycoon, and Recore. While they seem like a video game developer that helps advance certain technology in games, it helps studios iron out and finish their games to get it across the finish line. They have over 140 employees on staff, so they seem to be a mid-sized studio that can maybe be transferred into a AAA one. While the games that they worked on weren't the best, they could be a studio that just wasn't given the time or budget to create a full-fledged game they wanted. And being stationed in France does help Microsoft expand into new territories, which is something that Microsoft has hinted at they wanted to do. So maybe these guys are a little more viable than people think, even though if they're a little unknown. Next up is IO Interactive, who I've gone into a lot of detail with during my other videos. These are the guys that make the Hitman games and have a pretty big studio. They're a 170 person strong studio that has made multiple games in that AAA quality. Being located in Denmark is also a draw for Microsoft because, like I said before, they want to expand their presence in different areas. I would say this would be a pretty big get for Microsoft, and it will help IO Interactive a lot because their Hitman games haven't sold very well. Not to mention they're a AAA studio that might just need a fresh start on a new IP or be given a different IP to expand upon. This studio has been rumored for a little while now, so either way, we will find out in no time if they join the Microsoft Studio umbrella. But you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire, and it seems that Microsoft might be circling these guys to join. Now we move on to a huge one that I didn't see coming, and that's Platinum Games. Yes, the guys that were making Scalebound, the huge AAA dragging co-op game that was cancelled. This name showing up on the leak shocked a lot of people because everyone figured that the relationship between Xbox and Platinum Games was extremely fractured after the Scalebound debacle. But just like every other business in the world, money can change a lot of minds. This studio is stationed in Japan and would be a huge acquisition for Microsoft because they have almost a non-existent presence in Japan. Not to mention they've made some amazing games in Bayonetta and Nier Automata. They have over 200 people on staff, which would instantly put them in the high AAA category for a developer. Not to mention it would be a different type of game to the Xbox platform, and that's exactly what Microsoft would want for Game Pass, variety in the games being provided. While this is a long shot to happen, it's still pretty cool to see their name on the leak. And maybe Microsoft is kicking a few tires to check out what Platinum Games actually wants and if it's feasible to bring them into the Microsoft Studio. Now moving on to a team that has a lot of clout in the gaming industry, that's Turtle Rock Studio, the guys that created Left 4 Dead and Evolve. They're a smaller studio with around 80 developers on staff, but they're extremely talented and are able to bring out great co-op games that are very memorable. While Evolve wasn't that great of a game, Left 4 Dead is still considered one of the best co-op experiences gamers have ever experienced. And that fits exactly with what Microsoft wants in their Xbox games. A lot of the games that come out for Xbox in the exclusive department are co-op heavy. With them being a smaller studio, it fits that criteria that Microsoft is looking for in studios they acquire. Matt Booty did explain that they're looking for that small mid-level in between AA and AAA. That studio that maybe needs a little more development in time and budget so they can expand and grow into something better. So I hope this is one of the leaks that comes true, because I have great respect for this developer. They gave me such memorable moments in Left 4 Dead, and I have to say, maybe it's time they kind of get back into the ring and give us a game worthwhile. Next up is a studio I covered before in my videos, and that's Bluepoint Games, who are located in Austin, Texas. These are the guys that have been developing remasters for Sony for the last couple of years. Their recent work consists of Shadow of the Colossus and Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, both of which have been received very well by fans and critics alike. This development team has been rumored before to join the Xbox team, especially when a leaker hinted that the next big acquisition that's being discussed internally was a team that has been known to only work for PlayStation. These guys shot up the list pretty quickly because they're extremely talented and might want to be given the chance to create their own game instead of remaking older properties. I believe this one might have some merit, but only time will tell, because you never know what could happen, and like I've said before, people, it's all rumors. Now the next one is the one I want to happen the most, because I respect a lot of their talent on staff and I'm a huge fan of their games, and that's Relic Entertainment, the studio behind Age of Empires 4, Company of Heroes 1 and 2, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War, and one of my personal favorites, Warhammer 40k Space Marine. As you can tell, they're an RTS-centric developer that makes some of the best RTS games I've ever played. Being a huge strategy fan makes me biased with the idea of Microsoft acquiring them, because I would love for a developer with this type of game genre to get the publicity and budget they deserve. But they've also made some amazing games in Space Marine, which was a brutal game filled with awesome fighting mechanics. This developer to me is one that has gone under the radar for far too long, and I hope they get acquired by Microsoft so they are given the time and creative freedom to shine. This studio is the one at the top of my list for wishful thinking. And with the relationship Microsoft has shown with Age of Empires, they might be a real contender to join the Microsoft first-party studio. And if they do, I'm going to be ecstatic, and I'm going to be so happy to see that, because I love RTSs, but I also love the developer. Every single game they've made, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed. If you haven't checked them out, please do check out their games. Most of them are on Steam, and I really think you should give it a shot. The last studio in the rumor is The Farm 51. They're a small studio of 90 developers and are located in Poland. They've made games like World War III, which came out last year, and have made some smaller known games like Chernobyl Light and Get Even. Not having the same pedigree as the other studios might make these guys a pretty simple acquisition for Microsoft, because they fit that smaller studio size that Xbox is looking for. It could maybe surprise a lot of people with the games they create. I'm a true believer that anyone that's given the time and budget could create something special, as long as they have great leadership and talent. Maybe these guys could surprise us and show up in Microsoft Studios with a game that no one saw coming. That would be pretty cool. Maybe Microsoft wants to get these smaller studios to help build them up and bring confidence and bring games out that we otherwise might not have seen, because hey, they're not going to be that expensive to make. Well, that's all of the studios that were rumored in the leak on the Reddit post. While none of them might happen, it's still relevant to keep track of these rumors, because like we saw with Playground Games and Obsidian Entertainment, some of these rumors can't come true very quickly. As for which studios I see actually happening, I would have to go with Turtle Rock Studios, Bluepoint Games, and my favorite, Relic Entertainment. This is just my personal opinion, but I believe those fit the type of studios Microsoft is going for. Proven studios that might just need a little more investment to push them over the top. Now the second tier studios I would have to say is IO Interactive and SoBo Studios. As I've stated before, IO Interactive has had a very recent game of theirs not do so well, and they might be in a financial strain, so maybe they're looking to partner up with a huge studio so they can have that job security. And SoBo Studios has worked on multiple Xbox titles, which shows they have a great relationship with Microsoft, and it could be only a matter of time before they finally partner up permanently. That leaves Platinum Games and The Farm 51 as the only ones left on the list. And I have to say, I don't see Platinum Games coming to Microsoft, especially since a lot of their recent games have seen some success. So I don't see them having that urgency to join Microsoft when there isn't one. As for The Farm 51, I just don't know the developer all that well, and I think they need to prove themselves a little more before they're known enough to join Microsoft. Maybe Microsoft wants to see their next game, and maybe they have some technology in the background that we don't know that Microsoft's really impressed with. But who knows, maybe they're a developer Microsoft wants to help build up because they trust the talent inside the building. So that's all the studios involved in the leak, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video because I find the software side to be the most entertaining. But I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing. Go down to the comment section and let's discuss this together. Do you think any of these studios have a chance to join Microsoft? Which one is your favorite out of the 7? Which one do you not want to see join Microsoft Studios? And is there a studio not listed that you would love to see join Microsoft Studios? Go down below and let me know. And please hit that like button and that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and it helps the channel out more than you know. And I appreciate any kind of support I get. Honestly, I do. Also, follow me on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and having a good time with everyone. So head on over there and let's talk some games. That's all for now, everyone. Thanks for watching. And like always, enjoy your gaming. Later.